Now we're going to create something that's going to fit in the middle here, and I'm going to have this as basically as a health meter. It's going to be kind of a diamond shape that's filled with blood, and the blood is going to go down when your health goes down, similar to something like in Diablo 3, for example. I think it's used quite a lot in RPG style games, this common motif that you see. So I'm going to go to Pro Builder, new shape, once again cube. This time I want to double these values, so 20 on the X, 20 on the Y, 0.1 on the Z. Let's just hold shift and just put it into place. Let's rename this as health, let's call it health meter. Okay, its value, its position value, I want to change this to 5.81 on the X. On the Y, I want this as 3.8, and on the Z, I want this as minus 0.4. So we can see that it's starting to fit into place. On the Z rotation, I want to rotate this by minus 45 so that it's more of a diamond shape. Scale, I am going to scale this down shortly because it is a little bit big at the moment, but I'm going to leave it the way it is for now while we're building on this. So first of all, I need to select the edges, very similar to what I did with these. So that's just Alt and L to select the entire edge loop. Now because this object is a lot bigger than the others, I want to ensure that when I extrude the faces, it's double, if you like, it's twice as large. So 0.6 on the extrude faces. There we go. And then let's click on this, do an Alt R to select all those, and let's once again extrude those faces. I'll set this back to 0.3 for all the other items. Okay, great. Now I want to take this edge, do an Alt L to select all of those, and just pull this back all the way to the line. So translate is 0.60, which you can see in the bottom right there. Okay, that's good. And then I want to take these inner pieces, just holding shift as I select them. And then using the scale, I want to scale this into 0.96. There we go. Excellent. Okay, now this middle section, I want this to be kind of like a blood motif. But on the outer element, I want this to be like a silver material. So I'll just double click to select everything. Material editor, click silver. Alright, just make it silver. I'll also go to smoothing and smooth everything out. So what we'll see is that we get this really nice kind of smooth outline effect going on there. Now on the inside, on this face, I actually want to extrude this, but I'm going to do it manually. So just using the move tool, ensure you press and hold shift as you do this. So I'm just going to pull it out twice, so it says 0.80 down at the bottom right there. Yep, that's good. Okay, and then with those edges selected, I actually want to bevel these edges. So if I click on the bevel, I want the distance to be about 0.6. So if I click on that, you'll see that I get this really nice kind of bevel going on there. Now I want to select, I've got those outer faces selected, so I want to hold shift, select this face, and then I want to apply a different material. Let's just, for now, let's just give it the icon material while I actually create a material to go on there. So right click, create new material, and I'll call this blood. Blood is used for the health. So the color on this is going to be quite saturated, so I'm going to use B41717. So it's quite a saturated red. In fact, let me push that even further up. So now it's hexadecimal D41717. Then the metallic, on this is going to be 0.361, and the smoothness, going to have it relatively smooth, 0.68. It's going to give us some really nice kind of highlights. So in the Pro Builder, Material Editor, Project, we can now drag blood into the next slot. Let's click on this face, to Inspector, Pro Builder rather, and select by material. There we go, and let's assign that blood material, and then let's go to smoothing and ensure that all of that is smoothed out. So now when you see it through the game, you can see that it looks quite nice. Okay, that's good. Now what I want to do is take this face and I want to subdivide this. So where we can see subdivide faces, we're going to subdivide it, which is now going to give us this really great little vertex right in the center. Now I just want to click on this and pull this forward by 0.80. What that's going to do is just going to give us a nice curve effect. It's going to give us some nice shading on this piece. Now at the moment it's way too big, so let's go back to object mode. With our health meter, let's go to inspector and scale this down. So the scale on this should be 0.805 on the X, 0.805 on the Y, 0.805 on the Z. So we can see that it nicely fits into that spot now. Now at the moment it doesn't look so great because it's just basically a rotated square, isn't it? So we want to change the look of this a little bit. So I'm going to go over to vertex selection, and in Pro Builder I'm going to make sure that my select hidden is on. What this does, it allows me to select vertices that are behind a object as well as the ones in front. And I just want to select all of these vertices at the top. Now using my move tool, I want to move this up by about 3.82, should be fine. And notice how that gives us a really nice kind of unique look. Now I also want to do the same on the bottom here, so let me just make sure I select all of those. And I want to push this up to about 1.38. Okay, now we have got a little bit of an issue here, so let's just take this vertex and just push it up until it becomes straight. This vertex, push it up until it becomes straight again. Okay, then we have this vertex, let's just try and straighten this one out a little bit, and this vertex, let's straighten this one out just a little bit. There we go, and that's a much nicer look. Alright, it's much more unique. It doesn't just look like a square that's just been rotated around. Yep, so that's our health meter in the center. So what we're going to do in the next video is create a stamina bar to go over the top here.